We're joined by Christy O'Connell, and thank you so much for joining us, Christy.
Thank you, Sean.
Now, Christy, we're here in your house at the edge of Cahersiveen, I suppose, or it's not the edge anymore, but you've been here for a few generations. Tell us about your family.
Yeah, well, I'd be my late grandfather, my paternal grandfather, was a cooper, and Tom O'Connell. And in those days, all you had were the cottages in Groundbawn. There was two, and the Welsh's next door, which is long gone. And you had John L's farmhouse, and inside that, the hospital was built, and then the houses started. But yeah, I'd say the oldest resident and coming, like I'd be the fourth generation here, like.
Oh my goodness! And he made the barrels here as well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he would have been there. Like a cooper was, good trade at the time. There was plenty of work. Fishing was good, and the trains would leave the town, like, and head for the Billington market in London. So it was a thriving industry at that time, and my grandfather was there then, followed by my father. So I'd been born and reared in the west of the town here, and yes, very proud, of being a dyed in the wool Cahersiveen man, yeah.
And where did you go to school then, in the Christian Brothers?
Yeah, I went to school, actually. I started, my first school was the convent. At that time, a number of boys went to the convent school. I would say I was myself and Michael O'Neill, Michael in the road. We were the last two students that went to the convent, and then we moved from the convent, naturally enough, up to the Christian Brothers primary school. But we were the last two boys to go to the convent.
And the secondary school, the Brothers,
and then the secondary school, yeah.
Yes, and that was up where the library is now.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was there, and when I did the Leaving Cert in 1970, and we were in Brother Barrett's school for a while, I think, and then we went to school in the library while work was going on, and that type of thing. Yeah, but it was.
And growing up in Cahersiveen, then you played football.
Yeah, I played football with the local St. Mary's club, and played a huge part in our lives. Like, and we had there was great interest always and great respect, and I must say we were always respected, and we appreciate very much the work that was done for us. Like, and likewise when we talk about football, the same would apply to Cahersiveen CBS.
Yes.
Yeah, they made a huge contribution to football as well. And, we'd be very appreciative and proud. And history in certain places, the religious orders wouldn't, they would be top of the pile. But I must say, I'm always very proud to say I'm an ex-Cahersiveen CBS man.
And the first time I met you, Christy, was with my great teacher, Donny Riney. And he very cleverly saw that I wasn't anyway interested in football. And I remember he zooming down the corridor one day and said, "Larry, over here. You should be doing something now." And he got me to write the history of the school, which was a beautiful publication, and it's still out there. I see copies every so often. No copy of my own. But I met you with Donny, and he brought you down to see the progress and stuff. So you always kept good friends with the brothers and connections with the school.
Yeah, I did. Like, and mention of the late Donny Riney, who's a mutual friend of ours. He was a man I always held in very high regard. Donny was great. Like, he could mix with people. He could motivate people. He could create an interest in anything pertaining to South Kerry, and he had a particular love for his native Sneem.
Oh God, yes, he really did.
Yeah.
And it was that again, I suppose it was the idea that he could really see, okay, he's not going to play football, but we'll get him doing something. And it was great. And after school, then, once you did the Leaving Cert, what happened?
After school, I was in a temporary job. Well, when I say temporary, summer job in doing the 38 kV line from the power station, the former power station, to the 38 kV station in Granbon, now Upper Granbon. And I went from there. I joined the then Department of Post and Telegraph,
The P&T.
which was P&T. Exactly.
Oh, very good. And were you outside and inside, or?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I ended up. I started as a trainee installer. Went from there. Most of my working life then was as a cable jointer, and then I ended up as a CTM, customer team manager. Yeah.
And you know, it is amazing. Like, people coming through Cahersiveen would have no idea about the generating station. It's amazing how they. I suppose in a way it had to be done, but it was such a huge part of Cahersiveen when it was there.
Yeah, well, it was introduced to Southwest Kerry. You know, it was there was a social dimension to it as well, apart from the economic benefits of the turf trade. But it was huge. It served many families reared in it on the turf station. And I remember as a young man, my generation, we made our summer few bob that kept us going, working in the turf business.
Because there was it a furnace? Were they burning the turf?
Yes.
And then that would heat the water.
Yeah, into the national grid, and was being fed into the national grid. Yeah.
But it wasn't, because there would be smoke. There was a big chimney. I'm just thinking of it now, because it was such. You wouldn't leave Iveragh, but you saw the generating station.
Yeah, it was a landmark, you know, and when it disappeared, I mean, obviously, you know, if you were driving in or if somebody was away, like you'd shake your head, you'd arrive at Dealis Bridge, and you'd say, but there's some great memories of the turf, like, and working the tank. We were, 16, 17, and that. Some great stories. Mike Jacobs O'Neill, who was a great character, God rest him, but Jacobs came back from England, and he started. He employing, there was a lot of turf lying in the bogs from the previous bad winters and summers, and so he started a project to clear out the bogs,
wow.
and with some tough days, some very good days.
Yes.
Jacobs, as an employer, you would say he was a bit excitable, but a lovely man. And,
yes.
Some great memories of him.
Yes, volatile.
Yeah.
And but then that cleared the bogs for more turf to be cut, and that's the news story then of the Iveragh Turf Co-op, I suppose.
The Iveragh Turf Co-op,
and that's the story.
That played a huge role in people's lives, like, and in the economic life of the area, like, because it was it gave people, it shared out the money that came in. Everybody could take part, so to speak, and avail of it, and it was very valuable money when money was scarce, and it was a huge asset to the area.
And there was no transport costs. Like Wilson, that was the problem with the socks bringing the raw materials in.
Yeah.
We had it here, so. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And Iveragh Ballroom then? Did you head for the Iveragh Ballroom?
Oh, absolutely. And that evokes a lot of nice memories.
Yes.
Very special days, like.
Can you remember any of the bands that played there?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Mick Delahunty, you know, a few of the big ones, and Tommy Drennan and the Monarchs. Because I later got to, in later life, I got to know a close relative of Tommy Drennan's,
Oh, wow.
who's now dead, who has
Mm-hmm.
died, and you know, some great memories. All the big bands, Maurice Mulcahy played there, you know,
Yes.
and at that time the Creamery dance was the big one. You know, the Creamery was such a big local employer, and it affected all the farmers, you know, supplying milk, and it was a very popular night.
And was that like a dinner dance or just
No,
no,
no, it was
just
just
dancing?
simply the only off the floor entertainment was a bottle of Fanta Orange
My
down in
goodness,
the
yes.
downstairs and
Yeah.
thing. But some great memories, and it was it's a fabulous dancing floor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're very well run.
Yes.
Paddy Griffin was the dance hall owner at the time, and Paddy was a very dedicated man, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was very well run and always nice. You had the occasion scuffle, like fellas that come in, or it was from a match or something. You know, the excitement.
Yes,
There
of
was a bit
course.
of a spillover, like there'd be a few fellas told me back and let me at him, but it was all light-hearted. There was
Yes, there was nothing. Yes,
nothing
no, nothing major.
whatsoever.
And they all
No,
had to be up for work in the morning. And
absolutely.
somebody was telling me it went on quite late as well.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dance there went till 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
My goodness,
Yeah.
you know, I know it doesn't
Yeah.
seem, but it's nowadays is it 10 or 12? Well, I don't know,
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah. Well, with the drink license in places,
yes.
the authorities, of course, would be afraid of late nights. Yeah.
Christy, I'm going to ask you a question now. I'm asking you questions all the time.
Yeah.
But we had 52 pubs in Cahersiveen. Most of them had shops like haberdasheries, hardware, groceries and stuff. Can you describe to us the day the pubs started moving out of that framework, more like the framework we see today?
Yes, you know as ballot sessions grew, you know, they were unheard of one time, but they became popular, and they became the style of the day. And Billy Murphy's across from the church, Billy's led there, and there was some outstanding ballot sessions there, like, and that would have led that. You know, there were a lot of always well known, and a host that was well known. You had Mike Mertz, still has the popularity, a great licensed premises, but also, you know, supplies a bit of hardware and that. And the corner house, Keating's the corner house, was always a legendary place. You know, it was. I remember some years ago, met Red Collier, the famous meat wingback of the 1970s, and he was saying, you know, that they played Kerry in the Conkeating Park, and Red was saying, "Oh, we had a great night," he said, and he didn't have a great game the following day. Understandably, there was a reason for it, but he said that
The night
you
before.
know, the night
Yes.
before they did a fantastic night in Keating's, and he said, "I didn't sleep much," so
that affected him.
yeah.
And life then with the factories in town. And actually, I remember somebody telling me about, was it a Friday afternoon when the people in the factories got their wages and they headed uptown, and town was so busy. Would you
Oh
have
yeah,
yes.
yeah, and thing that workforce was a young workforce, and you know, the ladies, they were looking for the style of the day, and you know, things like that, and it generated excitement, and you know, around the place, you know, people, uh, you know, create their own atmosphere, and it was like it was a very vibrant time in the town. It was in between, I suppose, the old fishing days, you know, came along, and then the closure of the railway, you had a quiet period, and the 60s would have been very quiet. Work was very scarce. But then, as the industrial era started, the factories were first, and they created very good.
Mm-hmm. And the railway, then, you were talking about the railway and the barrels. There was that. What was the feeling like when the railway was leaving and when it left?
The closure of the railway. My maternal family, the Kellys, they were what was known as carters from the railway. Willie Kelly, God rest my uncle. Willie was my mother's brother, and from the Pines Cross, John Kelly.
Oh yes,
that family, and he was carting right up to the end, along with the Griffins, Dan Griffin of and then it was it was a huge loss, and it hit the area, it isolated the area to an extent, and it took years to recover, and a lot of people would say, did it ever fully recover?
Yes.
It was a setback that you took.
Mm-hmm.
It isolated the place to an extent. Yeah.
And over the years now, because you've been involved with the P&T, the communications, how have you seen that progress and change? And the changes are huge in communications over the years.
Yeah, they are. The development of the telecoms industry was huge, and it benefited. You had the fiber. Mm-hmm. Cable coming to the area is huge, and now, an area without fiber link is deprived area, yes. Really. But it has that it's communications grew with the ages, and then it is what it is today.
You could nearly vital. Think a call now to get.
Yeah.
Yes. And when you think of before, when you had the party lines and the phones running along.
Yeah, well, the Greenway. No, somebody was talking about the Greenway. No, we would have known the route of the Greenway very well, because the old coaxial cable, that was the route, was along the railway line. Oh. So we'd have walked that.
Yes.
We'd have walked it. And
coaxial, what's
the coaxial cable? Yeah. That was it was the vital link, and at that time Valencia was routed through, and you were going on into Valencia radio station. So yes. It was a vital link.
Wow.
Yeah.
And of course, like that, with the poles and everything, Christy, you would have been called out.
Oh, absolutely.
The
storm weather. Yeah.
And how was that going out in the dark? And I suppose you got used to it.
It was you'd get used to it, you had to.
Yes.
It was your work, and but there's a lot of great mm-hmm. stories, and of maintenance work being carried out right throughout the country, really, and the county. But South Kerry always played its part, and mm-hmm. to my fellow workers,
yes, everyone.
We were always very proud of that, and there was great respect taken.
Yes.
If there was an outage, people got stuck in straight away and made sure to restore the service.
Nobody was saying it's not my turn now.
No, no. And in fairness to the lads, to everyone, there was always a very good mm-hmm. Attitude
to get it going.
Yeah.
But God, yes. But in the dark, going out at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and in all weathers. And of course,
well, there was inevitably you were never called on a good night.
That's it.
It's always a bad night,
Yeah. It is the nature of the game.
Yeah.
What would be the biggest change you've seen in Cahersiveen in your life, or in South Kerry and Iveragh? What would be the biggest change you've noticed?
I suppose it's very hard to pin down. Like Irish life really has changed dramatically. Like from 50 years ago, we'll say, to today. But the development of communications would have to be top of the pile.
And in saying that, you have family in Australia now that you can communicate.
Well, I have, Sean. I must say that that beautiful goat. As you know, we've I share a mutual admiration for goats with you, and the last goat, beautiful goat, which you gave me, was named from Brisbane, Australia. My granddaughter Grace. I asked her, look. The previous goat I had died in a storm, and I said, well, are you going to come up with? And she said, yeah, Granddad, so Benjamin, and hence he's still driving out the back. Yeah.
So that's it. It's amazing now the connections people can have. So many went off on the boat or the train, and it might be a letter once a year, kind of, but now.
Yeah, I remember my old sister Sheila going to the United States, and it was a lonely time for my mother in particular. My father had died young, and she'd be waiting for the first letter.
Yes.
Or the telegram, would come and there were different times, and whereas now. Mentioning of the goat of Benji,
and I
can bring the phone down to WhatsApp, and she can see him down.
It's amazing. So she has her goat.
She has her goat, and she can remain friends with him.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
You do so much volunteering work, Christy. You do a lot for the community. There's several different groups: the Daniel O'Connell School, the GAA, the hospice, walks and stuff. Have you always had that interest?
Yeah, I have. Well, I suppose my first introduction was through the GAA, and referring back again to the Christian Brothers. We were encouraged the love and for Gaelic games, and that then we'd a soccer club. I'm always very proud that I was a member of the youth club at the time. Jimmy Curran, Jimmy the Butcher, as we call him. Jimmy and was involved. The late Tom Moriarty, God rest him, and that's where Iveragh Athletic Club started.
All right.
With the thing. So I mean, we promoted sports meetings in the town early on, and I think being involved, it brings you closer to the community. You create your memories and that and
it keeps the community going.
It does. It's part of it.
Yes, and you're very well respected throughout for the work you do. I think people enjoy because there's a run or a walk and you're the face of the Daniel O'Connell School as well. You do with coming in and going out, and you really make people feel at home, Christy.
Well, the Daniel O'Connell School is great, and we can be very proud of the development. But I mean that has come about due to Professor Maurice Brick. Maurice, and he was an old schoolmate of mine. But he's done tremendous work
and brought so many wonderful guests.
And Mary O'Connor, huge
to the area,
Mary O'Connor formerly of the Derrynane Hotel.
Yes,
and that Mary is key plus
stalwart as well.
Stalwart, Phil O'Neill and filled us a huge amount. And the late Junior Murphy.
Yeah, of course.
Junior made a
yes.
huge contribution to it. So, and it is nice to see, and it's very important. And
it's going strength to strength, which is
it
fantastic.
is, and
yes.
people, it's nice. Like Cahersiveen is O'Connell's town. Daniel, he was born here, and you know, everybody. I don't have to spell out
no
the greatness of O'Connell, like,
yes,
and
that the greatness he's inspired throughout the.
And it's great. And what is with the school is that there's great the young people of the area, and it's very, very important that, you know, everything depends on young people. You know,
of course, they're
getting it, and there is like. This last year now was the 250th anniversary of his death, and there was rowing, a number of other things, and there was the football competition, all involving a younger generation.
Fantastic.
And very well received, and there was great enthusiasm and great respect.
Which is great. Christy, we're kind of coming to the end of it now, but I'd love to ask you, what would you like to see for Cahersiveen in the future? What would you like to see for Iveragh in the future? How would you like to see the future?
Well, I think you know, the geographical gems, shall we call them, that Iveragh is beautiful, you know, and it hasn't been developed for commercial tourism like other areas, you know. It's the last, but it certainly will. I think with the passage of time, it will become better known. A lot of very good initiatives coming. The Greenway, when that gets an opportunity, you know, again, it will provide a gateway into the area, and there's no doubt about it. Tourism is the key. In many different ways, there are many different aspects of tourism and leisure, because you know, with the world trends, there's AI and things like that. You know, the traditional labor-intensive industries are in decline, and thank God to in a sense. And I think it will develop technology, and the one area here which has always been the cornerstone, like of Iveragh and South Kerry, we've always had great schools, and it continues. You've present day the Colossta, and you know, but the two vocational schools that were in the area, both Cahersiveen and Waterville, and then, you know, the Christian Brothers and the Presentation Sisters, who made huge contributions as well. So that has been there, and that is.
And the two technical schools are still going.
They're still going.
Yes.
Adult education centres, and that's very positive.
That's very important.
So yeah, it is for the outlying areas. It is always going to be tough, but there's a certain beauty and there's a certain appeal, and that. Now, one of the things that has to be addressed, and in fairness, the GA are doing their bit about the demographics, and it paints a very bleak picture, you know, the amalgamation of teams and all that. But look, family sizes, as I grew up, I came from a family of 10 myself, and you know, nowadays the average family is 2 or 3, and that's, you know, that's an issue that has to be, because it's putting a lot of local sports clubs of all sports, plus schools, the framework of schools, of brilliant national schools which we have here in the area.
And even a mother was talking to me, she was saying it's putting children under pressure to be involved in everything now, whereas I had no interest in football, so I was always in the art side, the performing side, and that's what I did. Whereas now I would actually have to go onto the field to field the team. They don't. They need the numbers. So there's pressure on the children as well to be involved in every aspect of life. You know.
Absolutely, Sean, as you said, like, I mean, it is, you know, it's nobody's fault. It's the trend. But as I said, the GAA presently under Jared Burns, the president of the GAA has set out as one of his goals, like that he'll make an attempt and create a renewed awareness that it has to be addressed by central government. And it's a European thing. I remember a number of years ago, you know, a prediction came out from one of these studies and predictions that went even up from the European Parliament, that by the year 2030, something like 70% of the population that they deem would be living in an urban environment. Now, that, you know, that creates problems.
Yes.
And, you know, it has to be addressed. But I must say that the GAA are doing their very best at that and creating. And, well, here in the local sense, Kerry County Council have bought into it as well. And they're saying yes. And, you know, they want to cooperate fully and ideas. So there is a genuine awareness that massive problems, and like if they were allowed to continue,
that's it.
The very structure of many areas would be eroded.
But they're not turning their back on it.
They're not turning. No, in fairness, they're not. Yeah.
Christy O'Connell, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best.
Yeah, and wish you the very best, lads, and thanks. And it's been a pleasure.